The U.S. Federal Reserve recently made headlines with an announcement about the use of XRP. Senior Vice President David Andolfo from the St. Louis Federal Reserve branch talked about the possible integration of Ripple for processing payments. In particular, Andolfo talked about how Ripple's reliance on XRP as a facilitator for these transactions has been emphasized. To quote David Andolfo directly, the Fed might assign settlement responsibilities to an outside party such as Ripple. If this happens, XRP's value could go through the $10,000 0 cents mark. Also, it's important to remember that the Federal Reserve's move doesn't come as a surprise. A few weeks or maybe a month ago, the Federal Reserve has made a formal statement recognizing that XRP and XLM could help improve the blockchain part of their Fed now service for paying. Ripple is getting a lot of attention because of its open source technology for financial processes and its creative cross-border payment solutions. Ripple's technology being used in the FedNow payment service is expected to be a major reason in XRP's value reaching all-time highs. Hey, Housecoin family, you can trust us with all your XRP needs. Before we go any further, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications to become a part of our community. Also, once we reach 8,000 members, we'll be giving away a ton of XRP. You can throw your hat in the ring in just 3 easy steps, so make sure you do all of those. Put the word HelpCoin in the comments to make sure you get a spot. Let's get right to today's subject. We are focusing on Ripple's partnership with the Federal Reserve, which is made official on the Federal Reserve Gov website. The report, which is called The U.S. Path to Faster Payments, names Ripple as a key player in their work together to find payment solutions in its first section, the Faster Payment Task Force approach. The report specifically talks about Ripple's ability to make real-time foreign payments possible. Usually these take 2 to 4 days, and there isn't much tracking or fee transparency. Ripple changes all of that by giving full transparency on payment status and fees along with fast settlement. We find that Ripple and the Federal Reserve have expanded their partnership to include domestic payments. There is a lot of evidence to back this up, and watchers can pause and read an important part of it. It talks about how central banks like the Bank of England, the Federal Reserve, and the Saudi Arabian Monetary Authority are working together with Ripple to improve the domestic payment system. The study also talks about Ripple Labs' innovations at the basic level of payment processing, with a focus on providing a free real-time settlement infrastructure around the world. This shows that Ripple's decentralized peer-to-peer, the Federal Reserve plans to adopt and use the new settlement framework, which will replace current systems for sending money. About a year ago, there were early signs of this trend. The Ripple logo was prominently displayed during a Federal Reserve segment on Fox News about exploring a digital US dollar. Also, institutions like the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, the International Monetary Fund, BIFF, and the Federal Reserve Board have added Ripple to their list of operating in the shadows partners, which shows their interest in Ripple's technology. If you delve deeper into the fascinating world of global finance, it becomes clear that the Bank of International Settlements, BIS, handles a big part of the world's wealth. It's important to note that Ripple has joined this field. The Department of the Interior quoted Jess Chan, a senior counsel at the Frederickshire Board of Governors, as saying that Ripple has joined this field. Jess, who used to be Deputy General Counsel at Ripple, is said to be leading this initiative. For those interested in the specifics, there is a lot to talk about here, and it's all connected. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. What I'm about to say might surprise many of you. Recently, the Federal Reserve warned about possible bank losses due to rising interest rates and pressure on real estate. Interestingly, they've been talking with several partners about this since early March. Also, it looks like BRICS and the EU are going to adopt XRP. European Union has even said that XRP will be the basis for the new digital euro, with the XRP ledger managing wealth transfers. This claim is backed up by multiple reports which point to an impending rise in XRP's value. One leading expert predicts a short-term jump to $500.50, with the potential to reach $10,000 0 cents as it gains global traction. This prediction comes from Arthur Brito, co-founder of Ripple. As we watch the video, it's clear that the story of XRP is changing quickly. Gone are the SEC versus Ripple case, and now the BRICS countries have decided to base their central bank digital currency on the XRP ledger. Working together with Ripple, breaking news suggests that this central bank digital currency backed by BRICS will be a major global financial tool, and there are signs of Ripple's large network in every BRICS country, which we will now go over in more detail. Let's start our journey in Brazil, where Ripple has helped make a groundbreaking development. A revolutionary crypto on-demand liquidity service has been started in Brazil. This is a big step forward for the country's financial technology scene. Next, we'll talk about Russia. A lot of paperwork shows that President Putin has changed his mind and wants to move away from the petrodollar and the USD. This is because SWIFT decided to exclude the petrodollar and the Russia from the way it handles money. A big shift has happened toward Ripple Labs, whose goal is to create a Russian CBDC, central bank digital currency, on the XRP ledger. This move not only goes against the SWIFT ban, but it also takes advantage of the decentralized nature of the XRP ledger to make sure that Russia can continue to be a part of global banking. As we turn our attention to India, we see Ripple at the helm of another important project, India's ambitious digital rupee initiative. This project is a big step forward for India on its way to a global CBDC, and it's all made possible by Ripple Labs technology. But the story doesn't end there. China has joined the fray as well, working with Ripple to get into the world of digital currencies used by state banks. This partnership shows that Ripple is becoming more important in the global banking world in Africa. The story is the same. The 2022 African blockchain report shows how CBDCs are becoming more important on the XRP ledger across the continent. The report mentions that South Africa and over a dozen other African countries have adopted Ripple and XRP for their payment processing systems. This wide adoption shows how important the ledger is becoming in Africa's financial ecosystem. Finally, a recent report by BRICS highlighted XRP as a top digital asset for payment services. With this support from BRICS, XRP is even more solidified as a major player in the world of digital currencies. As things have changed, there have been a lot more price predictions for XRP. Some of the most interesting statements caught our attention when top financial experts said that XRP would eventually be worth $500, 0 cents. Naturally, this makes us do a lot of study, which led us to an interesting source. 4 cryptocurrencies, including XRP, Ripple, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano, were identified by ChatGPT as having the potential for a huge 100,000% increase by 2024. This shouldn't come as a surprise, especially when you consider that Ripple's co-founder Arthur Brito thinks the price of XRP will reach $10,000, no cents, a level he believes it was designed to reach. It also talks about XRP's ability to grow and meet the financial needs of the world's estimated 7.5 billion people. What does $500, 0 cents mean in this context?